Welcome to the Zesty Ginger Podcast. We are Megan and Dr. Alex. We are here for transformation. Yours, ours, and the collective. Personal and professional for practitioners. But not just any transformation. Compassionate transformation. Because between the two of us, we have seemed to have done things the painful way. Let our pitfalls become your stepping stones. We aren't afraid to share our raw and vulnerable truths in order to help you transform your thinking, your body, your heart, and your soul. Combining 15 years of functional medicine with brain-based habit change to lead you to the best life possible in a compassionate way. Compassion, yes, yet plan to roll up your sleeves. Transformation requires your participation. And a quick reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your doctor, not this doctor, before making changes. Now let's get into the episode.
Hello, Megan here. Welcome back to the Zesty Ginger Podcast and back to the Possibility series. It has been an honor and so fun to be your guide throughout this series. So hopefully you've been filling out the workbook along the way, and it's super simple. It is not too late. If you haven't started the workbook, it is not too late to go ahead and fill them out. There's like 1 or 2 questions a day. Great ways to get your mind thinking about all the possibility. You know, this morning, actually every morning, when I go outside, I go on a walk every single morning, and I go out there and I get out there, and every single morning this bike comes out of nowhere and just like almost runs me over. It's a really vicious cycle. There it is. Joke for the day. All right. So let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic is all about watching the stories that you tell yourself. Whether these are stories about your abilities, about your health, whether this is stories about money, about abundance, about happiness. Whatever follows I am becomes your destiny. We want to start to break down, look at, what are you saying is your identity? What are you saying? I am and maybe it's a category like I am a runner, I am a mother, I am a business owner. Or maybe it's I'm busy, I'm too smart, I am messy, I am unorganized, I am poor. It can be all sorts of things that we say I am, and that becomes an identity, right? Because if you say I am a runner, then what do? You run, right? And what if you're saying I am messy? Then our brain is looking around for ways to confirm that this is true and for ways to draw that in. So when we hear things like, I don't have time for that. What we really hear, the translation is, that is not a priority. Or I don't have the money for that. Again, translation, it's not a priority yet. Or translation, I don't believe it will work for me. And I watched my brain do this recently in real time. So somebody asked me to attend a weekend event, a weekend retreat. And I thought, I don't have the time or the money for this right now. I have a lot going on, and that's just, that doesn't fit. And I thought that in my mind, and I felt that to be true. And less than 1 week later, just 1 week later, I got invited to a longer event that was a much bigger investment. And this event felt so aligned, and I knew I was meant to be there. Now, this time, it was tens of thousands of dollars, and it was 18 days away from my family. And guess what? Who went to that event? I did. I got resourceful really, really quickly. And I showed up to 18 days in the middle of December. And it scared the crap out of me, and it totally lit me up at the same time. So just look at the stories that you're telling yourself when you say, I am this or I cannot be that, right? Often we've been telling ourselves these stories for a really long time. Maybe somebody else put those stories in our head, like, you're not a good singer. There's a good one. You're not athletic. And is this even true? And let's say there's a program or something you want to do, and you've been telling yourself, I can't afford that, or I don't have time for that. I want you to think about rewording that into a more empowering form, even if it's only for your own self-talk. How about I am choosing to do something else? That's actually what I was doing. I chose to do something else. And we use the same structure when we're talking about food, because when we say things like, I can't eat gluten, that feels very different than I'm choosing to eat gluten-free because I know I feel amazing when I do that, right? It's a choice. What are the other common stories that you're telling yourself? Because if we do it in one area, we do it in all areas, right? And that's just one of the most common stories we hear. We'll hear this myth in our belief that from people that they just don't have the money to work on their health, or they don't have the time. And what we see is really we often don't have the money or the time because we don't have our health. I don't know about you, but if you've been in a place where your health has taken you down, and Dr. Alex and I both have, and we've experienced this firsthand, then we know how little we are doing, we are creating, we are definitely not making money. We are definitely not thinking about bigger goals or going out there to write that book or start a program or even go into a job, right? I wanted to break my arm to not go into my corporate job. That's how down I was. And taking a leave of absence and not getting paid. I would rather be somewhere else not getting paid than working because I was such a fatigue space. And what's happening now is we're seeing these women who have worked on the basics of their health, who have balanced their hormones, and now they're starting to be like, what am I going to do with this extra time and energy? And now they're like, well, now I can create that whole business or start the nonprofit or write the book or leave a partner or meet a new one or drastically change the financial situation they're in a really short time. Right? We'd love for you to just think a little bit outside of the box with whatever these stories are that you're telling yourself. We've had people who say like, oh, I'm a teacher, so I'll never make good money, right? So maybe there's a specific story around what you do. And that same person, this teacher I was in a program with, saw a real need. Something was missing in the industry that all parents and teachers would love to have. And she created a course and a product around it. And she added resources for the teachers and the parents. It was something they all wanted and needed. And it fit into what she was already doing. So she was still a teacher. She still had the identity of a teacher. And she also, on the side, made 10 times her income as a teacher with a side project. And she still got to keep teaching. She loved it. So it didn't mean all or nothing. It didn't mean you have to choose one thing or another. We've had other people come in and they're teachers and they said, you know what, I actually want to coach because the reason I got into teaching was because I wanted to help people. And now I'm realizing that there's all this other possibility for me. Super, super important to just start looking at the stories and what are the I am this, the thing that you're putting yourself in a box about. Because if we're in a box and we don't have all the possibility, and this is a series of possibility, right? And you might be thinking, well, Megan, this isn't about money, right? Why is this important? Well, I agree, because money I do not believe it makes you happy. We've seen lots of people who have tons of money and are not happy at all, right? Although happy people with tons of money, those are the ones that we see changing the world because they have the means and the resources. They're supporting their physical body. They have the support that they need to not overdo it. And they're the ones who can actually tip things into a bigger scale and going to help things in the world that we really need help with, right? Our environment, the economics, the people, the schools, the systems, right? So it's been really, really fun for us to watch the people who've graduated our programs who are then now having this smooth cycles and energy, and they're going to do these really cool things, starting a nonprofit, bringing awareness to things that have touched their lives, just like we're doing. Things that have touched our lives. We want to share, right, the steps, the things we have learned so that you do not have to go through all of it. Okay, I hope all the stories are bubbling up and you're seeing where there is some possibilities to switch your stories and your identity and who that will be, who you can line up with. So before we end, I'd love to hear from one of our lovely ladies what's possible.
My name is Kate, and I wanted to talk about the fact that I've, been working with Megan for a while, and I am a totally different person now than I was when I first started working with her, and also implementing the tools that I've learned in the HTA program. I was not able to I had a really hard time getting out of bed in the morning. I had a low energy. I did not feel like I had a community of like-minded people. And after working through being able to manifest what I want and stepping into a different identity, I am now a person who gets up in the morning with relative ease, and I have energy to sustain me during the day for pretty much anything that comes along, including being able to go out and exercise and socialize with folks. And I would also say that one of the big things that was important to me was having a community of like-minded individuals and women, and I definitely feel like I have that now. I've made some really close connections through the HTA program, and I remember Megan telling me that my life was about to change, and I definitely think that has happened. I'm so grateful for all of the people that are in my life and all of the ways that I've changed, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Thanks for coming out to hang with us on the podcast. It is our goal to transform the way women are treated in healthcare, and we need your help. We need your help to get the word out. We have a lofty goal of 1 million downloads. And we know that as this podcast grows, we're going to be able to reach more women, get more amazing speakers for you, and bring the most cutting-edge information.
If you found these pod classes helpful, please take a moment to text 5 women you know the link to the series.